Hello, my name's Chris from Lifelong Leaders. It's really great to be able to spend this time with you just now. We want to share with you an illustration of what we're all experiencing and give you some tools to deal with what we're going through with the coronavirus, because we're all being challenged, and especially if you're a leader, if you're a teacher, if you're a pastor, if you're a manager of any sort, director, CEO, anything like that, you're a carer, counsellor, you're experiencing significant challenges right now. So I just want to show you this thing that's called the challenge bar. We're all experiencing challenges, but some of us, some of the time, not at the moment of course, are under challenged. Now, nothing wrong with being under challenged, because sometimes in life we need to be under challenged, we need a rest. And normally in the evening after my kids have gone to bed, I like to rest. I don't want to do anything that I'm responsible for. That's my rest time. That's when I recuperate, start to regenerate before going to bed in the evening. However, some people in life are living an under-challenged life, and that might not be their fault, but they might be under-challenged. And people who are under-challenged in life are disengaged. You may have in your workplace some people who are disengaged. They're not giving 100%. People who are disengaged, they're often working in an area below their skill set or not related to their skill set. And so they're not challenged because they're not engaging with what they see in front of them, so they're disengaged. The problem with being disengaged is if you're there for too long, you can become destructive. And often people will become destructive in order to give themselves some sort of challenge in life, because in life we like challenges. In life we like to do puzzles, we like to get ourselves fit, we like to do jigsaws, we like to do brain problems, we like a challenge. So here's where we should be most of the time. At least in our work life, you'd hope that we're challenged, and especially if you're a leader, you would want to be challenged, because when you're challenged, you're engaged at work, because you've got something to think about, you've got something that challenges you, you've got something to keep you motivated, so you're motivated, trying to solve issues. Particularly as a leader, you're trying to solve relational issues, you're trying to solve organisational issues, you're trying to solve structural issues. And just so you know, if you're a leader and experiencing a challenge, it's almost certainly, if you're experiencing problems to solve, it's always got to do with the people, but that's a by the by. So engaged, motivated, you'll be growing. So let's just say that you're not challenged. This is under-challenged here. If you're challenged, you're growing as a person. You're on a slight trajectory. It's not too hard, but you are getting some challenge, and you're growing, you're learning. You're doing good work at this point. You're getting good results as well. And life's good. Life's good most of the time when we're challenged, and that's wonderful. Just so you know, if you're a leader, let's say you're a leader and you're challenged, and you've got some staff who are under challenged, and you go, oh, look, I should challenge them then. I want them to come join me up here. What's going to happen is they're going to come to you with their challenge. You've given them a challenge, but they're going to go, no, I'm under challenged. I'm used to being under challenged. So I'm going to come and get you to solve my challenge, and that's just going to increase your stress or your challenge level a little bit more, just so you know. However, most of us are here. We are over challenged right now. If you're a leader of any sort, if you're a pastor, you've got a whole lot of things going on, your churches can't meet. If you're a teacher, if you're a school leader, you've got problems going on. If you work in any place right now and you're responsible for other people, or you care about other people, chances are you're over challenged right now, because you've got new challenges that you've never faced before, and you don't know how to deal with them, and you're trying to learn, and you're trying to adapt and work on the fly, and it's hard. It's really, really hard. And that's okay, because guess what happens when life gets hard is, provided we deal with it well, we start to grow. But the problem is, if we don't get a rest, if we're over challenged for too long, it gets hard. Now, different people can stay in this over challenged area for different lengths of time. Depends on how used to being over challenged we are and whether we've implemented systems and practices and boundaries and things to help us, because we need boundaries to survive being over challenged. We need rest, we need exercise to keep going in this space, we need a good diet, we need a great community, and faith. These are things that will help us when we are over challenged. We can stay in this space for longer and lead people well for longer if we're doing these things. If we're not taking care of these things, if these things start to jump off the perch too much, we're not going to be able to survive there, and it's going to actually come at a cost for us. Part of what you're experiencing now, if you're a leader too, and you're over challenged, you've got people who are challenged, who are beneath you, that you're serving as a leader, that you're trying to help, and they're challenged, and then all of a sudden they're getting over challenged, and they're going to come to you with their problem. And that's just how it is. Okay? We all complain about it at some point as leaders, but part of being a leader means that when people have a problem, they come to us. That's just what they do. That's what we need to expect. So they're coming to us. The reality, of course, means that that increases again our challenge level, increases our stress level, and can bump us up to the next level, especially if we've got people who are way down here in this under-challenged area, and all of a sudden, if they're being over-challenged, things go really bad. And we're seeing this in the behavior of some people. There are people who perhaps were under-challenged in life before, and they've got plenty of time on their hands, and all of a sudden, they've gone to the shops, they've bought all the toilet paper because there's a challenge for them, making sure that they're going to get through this. And so they will do whatever it takes, and they're not used to perhaps being challenged. They're definitely not used to being over-challenged. And all of a sudden, they're being over-challenged, and so they don't think through how to respond to the over-challenge that they're going through. Some of us, though, right now might not necessarily just be in the over-challenged spot. Some of us are dangerously over-challenged. Okay, this is bad for us. Okay, we hit this dangerously over-challenged if we've got too many problems, too much, too long. We end up dangerously over-challenged, and you might be there now. And if you're there now, here's what's happening to you. You might be able to recognize this. You've got boundaries issues, saying yes to too many things, should be saying no to more things. Thankfully, with help, I'm getting to say no to some things. Rest, your sleep's getting interrupted. You're not getting time off at the end of the day. You're not getting time to start up properly at the start of the new day. Your exercise is disappearing if you are over-challenged. Your diet is going down the gurgler. Your ability to engage with community is also being damaged because you are either going to withdraw from community physically, or you're going to withdraw from it emotionally, and you're going to be physically in the room but not there in your mind and your heart. And faith, and your faith will start to be damaged, and your faith won't start to be damaged as in you stop believing in God or whatever your faith is, but your faith will be damaged in terms of you'll put your trust more and more in your own ability to get through it. But the longer you stay here, the problem is you end up doing the same things. You end up disengaged and you end up destructive. And it might just be a little bit at first. But if you're a leader and you get disengaged and you get destructive, it has a lot more damage than just you. If you're under-challenged here and you're disengaged, it really just affects you and maybe a few people around you. If you're a leader and you lead 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 1,000 people, and you make a snarky comment and 5 people see it, and they start to see that you're not doing so good, or you start an unhealthy behavior, an unhealthy pattern, it might become an addiction. It might become a work habit that just has you shutting down or shutting off. You might become dangerously over-challenged, and these things happen because you've no longer got your boundaries, no longer resting, exercise, diet, community, and faith. So what helps us here? First of all, awareness. We need the power to be able to recognize where we are. We need that moment where we stop and look and think and go, where am I? And that's why just showing you this now so that you know where you are. So you need that awareness. The awareness is what helps you give your boundaries back. And awareness, by the way, doesn't necessarily come from yourself. It comes from others. So you need awareness for your boundaries, and this is why you need community. No matter who you are, you need community, because it's the others who see where you are. You need the awareness to put in the boundaries and to get your rest back and to put things in place and make choices around your rest. You need to start restoring exercise to your body. You need to put the right nutrients in. And you need to do some things that restore your faith. There is one more that I'll put in here that I haven't mentioned. You need input. Intellectual input. Input that's going to help you deal with what you're facing. And again, that's what this is about. If you do these things, they're all going to help you. There's one last thing that's going to help you, because as I mentioned, each level goes to the leader above them for help with their challenge, for their level of challenge. If you're the top leader in your organization, you need this even more. But you need the ultimate leader to help you. And his name is Jesus. In Jesus, we see the greatest leader ever. We see a servant leader. We see a humble leader. We see a leader who had good boundaries and wouldn't let people push his boundaries. We had a leader who was aware of who he is. We had a leader who rested. We had a leader who walked everywhere, so he had great exercise. We have a leader who we assume had a good diet. And we have a leader who, of course, had faith in his Father in heaven. And when all of this gets too much, we need to turn to Jesus and give him our challenges. The Bible says to cast all our cares on him. And so wherever you are, you can cast your cares on Jesus. And you can know also that Jesus tells you to do these things and helps you with these things. So I hope that's been helpful for you today. I hope to send you another video in the next week or so. God bless you. Bye for now.